All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the IHRCountdown, and I cannot believe this is happening right now because you guys are my first in-person guest since all this craziness has been going on. AJR, how are you?
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for having us.
I'm pumped. This is you guys. You were telling me off air that you've done a couple interviews, and you're everyone's first interview back.
We have, and we've gotten that exact line said to us, and we were even playing some songs the other day, and they were just like smiling so much, and they were like had their hands in their hair, and I was like, we've never gotten this reaction before. Even at our best, no one's been that happy to see us.
So either you're really good, or they're just dying to see anybody. Is that what you're saying?
It seems like the latter, honestly. I gotta say.
Oh man, well AJR is here. We got so much to chat about: music, life. I'm going to bring up that ghost question again because your story is the greatest thing ever. You can't stop me.
The same story again.
It's crazy. All right, let me real quick before we just breeze over the whole pandemic in 2020. How was your pandemic experience? I know we talked a couple of times over the break, but how was sum it up for me?
It wasn't horrible for us. Yeah. Honestly, we on day one of the pandemic, we decided let's use this time productively, and we ended up making an entire album, planting a lot of other seeds of other stuff we've always wanted to do. And now that the pandemic seems to be, like we're emerging from it, we get to finally like get out there and see fans, do all the things we've been missing, and play this new album. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have that many complaints as much as other people do.
So aside from the doom and gloom outside of your New York apartment, inside the apartment, everything was just great. Everything was perfect.
I mean, it was it was a difficult album writing experience. It was definitely the hardest time we've ever had writing music, just because we usually go outside and we see movies and it's like, oh, that's a cool thing. Let's go back and write. And that really inspired us. Or we go to a party and our friend tells us some weird issue that he's going through. Oh, that's a great song. Let's go run back and do it. It was just me and Ryan sitting there being like, okay, we didn't do anything yesterday. We'd have no inspiration. What do we write about today? So that's a difficult place to draw inspiration from.
And a random question I can only ask after a pandemic: how was your vaccination experience? Did AJR line up and they're like, oh, like I can see the lady with the shots. Like, I think that's AJR. Did you get one of those things?
No,
let me shoot him full of this stuff.
Not even a little bit. Mine was in the deepest part of Brooklyn, and funny enough, it was kind of early on we got it, and there were actually like people there like coming up to me and getting in my face being like, how'd you get a vaccination? How'd you get this? And I was like, I did it online. I did it online. No, but how'd you, like, screaming in my face? So it was the opposite of what you're saying. So, and they were like, you're Jack from AJR right now.
Dang, it's crazy with the. I guess they were like, they thought you pulled like an AJR, like a favor kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. No, and we just got it like everyone else, and they were just kind of screaming. So it's not like there were no fire. A banner came down. AJR got vaccinated. I'm not sure what you think celebrities go through, but it's not that.
So did bang 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 each of us in a row,
and she did such a bad job too, but just for the bit. I'm not even sure I'm vaccinated.
I'm starting to think you guys got your vaccination from like a guy in a trench coat in some alley. Is that kind of?
Is that not who you got it from?
That's
okay.
Might have a problem here. All right, AJR is hanging out. The album, OK Orchestra, of course, came out March, I believe, 2020. Talk about this album and what are we working on now? I know that's throwing a lot at you, or 2021, I should say. But you talk about this album. What else we got on tap?
Yeah, it was really important for us to put out the album when a tour was going to be announced, because those are really synonymous for us. While we're making the music, we're imagining this crazy thing will be happening on stage. So it felt very strange for us to just put out an album into a vacuum and not know when we were going to tour. So we waited until March, because then we knew, okay, we can announce a tour for 1 year from now. So that's the OK Orchestra tour, where it's going to be very intertwined. There's going to be a lot of illusions and magic and weird stuff on stage. So we're really looking forward to that.
And the cool thing is we're going to be doing festivals all summer.
Oh, my God.
I think festivals are maybe, aside from the tour, my number one favorite thing to do, because first, we get to see so many other artists that we love, but also the energy at a festival is just insane. And we'll also be able to, try and test out playing a bunch of the new songs from the new album. But just to see people in a crowd having fun, singing things back, eating, maybe not wearing masks, I just can't wait to get back out there.
Do you guys still write, record everything, or most of everything inside the New York apartment?
Yeah. In our bedroom, Ryan and I share an apartment, and every song is done in his bedroom. Yeah.
Even when pandemic lifts, it's still apartment.
Yeah, we went for such a long time. I think we've talked about this, like 10 years with no success whatsoever, and that was all done in our parents' living room. And then we kind of even when you do have success, everyone thinks it's like, and you're raking in the money, and you have this huge budget, and it takes a really long time to actually start making enough money to pay your bills or pay your rent or anything like that. And we couldn't really afford a studio. And I think we just got into a really good rhythm in his bedroom. We started realizing the benefits, which are like, you don't have to pay for studio time. You can hop into an idea at any time of the day. You can wear whatever you want. It's very comfortable. So there's a lot of, positives. I think it outweighs the positives of working in a studio for us.
And if you've captured lightning in a bottle, I mean, why question it? Just stay in the apartment, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think also when you're at home, you're free to try more experimental things. What if we took beatboxing and this Mozart sample and put it together? Whereas when you're in a studio, it's often based off what's on today's top hits right now. Like, what can we base things off?
Right.
I don't know. Something about the mentality is a little different.
Neighbors are cool with you guys yelling and screaming and banging on pans and stuff like that?
Neighbors are louder than us.
They're much louder than us, and that's not a joke. So the other day, we hear some crazy stuff from. So Ryan shares a wall with our neighbors, and they're so loud. And the other day they said, "You're only allowed to use the bathroom for number one and a bath." And we're just like, and that's just what weekly we get bits like that. And it's like, and so if they were to come over and be like, "You're being too loud," we're gonna be like, "You know what we heard you say last week? Like, we're being loud."
God,
Yeah.
you need to sample that. That's got to be and here we go. That should be the next day.
Number one
and the bath. Oh, that's perfect. I think
It's
wrote a new
just
album.
as palatable.
It
It's
is.
crazy. Yeah.
True or false? You guys really worked on this song like 5 or 6 years?
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This one's you're going to tell the story better than me, actually. Do the full
We all knew
story.
that was coming. Go ahead, Ryan. Bring it back here. No, so yeah, a very quick story. The sample, the horn line in the chorus, da-dum-da-da-da-da, is from a Simon & Garfunkel song called My Little Town. We sampled that 9 years ago. We just kept it in our hard drive, like waiting for the right song. Then we wrote a song for Kygo like 3 years ago with the chorus, "Don't you love it? Don't you love it? I'm not happy yet, but I'm way less sad." Different track, different song. They didn't want it for Kygo, and we were like, God, that chorus is so us. It's like, it's so relatable. It's so AJR. Let's keep it. We wrote a song for Cardi B then, a year later, with the sample that we isolated like 9 years ago. Totally different song, different track, but it had the sample. She didn't want it, so we kind of took that back. And then we sort of combined the sample and the chorus, made a new track, wrote a song around it, and then it became Way Less Sad. And then Cardi B put out WAP right after, and we were like, we're so on the wrong track. Like we were like, the A&R should have given us some sort of direction. But that's the very quick story of how Way Less Sad was born. It was the most unique time we've ever had putting a song together.
Yeah, Way Less Sad is way different than WAP, for sure.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It starts with a W. I mean, that's
a
the
fair
only
point.
similarity there. Yeah.
We kind of touched on it briefly, but let's talk tour. This tour, I can tell when I mention the word tour, you guys light up because this is what you live for. Your tours are so visual, all the effects. I am going to see an AJR show with this tour for sure. Talk about the tour. What can you guys say about this thing?
Sure.
Yeah, touring is truly our favorite thing, and conceptualizing the show is our number one favorite. It takes maybe 2 days to come up with all the crazy ideas. Okay, Jack's going to be walking on a laser bridge, and he's going to be drawing things with a big pencil. And then it takes like
Okay, what?
Yeah,
That's what we did
those
for
are two things we've actually done before.
We did that for our virtual show, so he's just, that's what he
Yeah.
said.
And so that's like the little kid part of our brain where we're just like kind of vomiting ideas. And then it takes like 8 months to actually implement and rehearse it and figure out how to actually get all of it done.
And tie it back to the show in some way that's doesn't make it so random of like, what am I watching? Oh, there we go. It does connect back to the show.
Yeah.
Wow. I am speechless. Now, what about like when you do the festivals? You're talking festivals. You love how do you take that element to the festival stage, because it's a different animal, obviously.
We're finally big enough to actually bring some of those gags to the festivals. Because we've done a lot of festivals before. We've always been in the lower slots, sort of like working our way up, like artists do. And now we're our slots are either like headlining slots or like direct support. So now they're finally like, hey, here's a budget, and you could actually do your real show. So we're going to bring a lot of that stuff, I think.
Yeah.
This summer.
But also our headline tour is really special to us, and it's really unique. So we want to save a lot of the really cool things for our headline tour. I mean, we have almost a year before we're going on tour. So we want to do as many of the new songs as we possibly can in festivals. But for a lot of that storytelling elements and like the interstitial things, and I think we're going to save a bunch of that for our headline tour.
Oh man, this is going to be the tour starts April 2022.
Yeah.
And can you mention any festivals you guys are doing, or is that
What's been announced?
Oh, one
top secret stuff here?
I don't know.
I can't remember
God.
which ones.
Well, when it gets released, if it hadn't been,
knows?
you guys will hear all about it. But how is the Bang hot sauce business going? Is that working out pretty well?
Business is booming. Next question. No, no.
On with the countdown.
I have no idea. Do we have any left? I don't know.
We sold
Did
out
Ryan
and had to restock.
Did Ryan eat them up? Ryan loves it so much.
I love that.
Ryan,
Sometimes they catch me with sauce around my lips. Oh, I don't know where
Sometimes
it went.
I catch him sleep eating that stuff. I don't know where it went.
Oh, I don't know.
He's the dumb guy in our apartment.
So the business is you have. I guess what you just said is you have no idea how the business is going with the sauce.
We don't.
That was a long way of saying I haven't thought. I totally forgot we did that.
Perfect. Way less sad. Let's do this track. I mean, I know you've talked about it. You've said so many things about what do people need to know about this thing that they might not know already.
Yeah, it's a song about celebrating the little wins because we're not, both as human beings, as us, but also as a society, we're not all the way better, but we're like a little bit better than we were last year. And so we wanted to write a song celebrating that little win.
What is the best, speaking of as a fan, because you guys have been a fan before you were an artist, I think, what is the best live performance you guys have ever seen?
Oh, nice. I saw. So, do you guys have one that comes to your head?
Yeah. We saw Brandi Carlile at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
And the other day we were in our hotel, and our dad is just the biggest Brandi Carlile fan.
Like how a BTS fan is a fan of BTS.
That's how your dad
Our
is.
dad is a Brandi Carlile fan.
Tracking her streams
like
first
in that
week.
way, he is so obsessed and into her music.
And
Yeah.
wow.
He's sitting in the lobby area of our hotel, and Brandi Carlile comes walking through the lobby. And he goes insane. Like his heart is beating really fast, and he's really nervous to talk to her. But he talks to her, and one of the funny things is that she was like, "Oh, that's so nice that you came to our show at Madison Square Garden. Next time I come back, I'm going to be playing Forest Hill Stadium when I'm there." And our dad was like, "Oh yeah, my sons are going to be playing Forest Hill Stadium too.
You should come."
Yeah, it was a really nice thing, and it was nice to see him act like a little kid again.
Yeah.
Now, did she know you guys and all that?
I have no idea. I asked him. He was like, I wasn't sure if she knew you or not. He was like, oh yeah, AJR are my kids, and she was like, congrats. And so as soon as I say it out loud, obviously she didn't know who we were. Why was there any speculation?
You thought your dad would have used some of that, drop a couple, hey, my sons are AJR.
Yeah.
I guess it didn't get any. Anyway, all right, talking about your performances now. Two-part question. What do you consider your best performance? And the complete god-awful flip of that, what do you consider your worst? So everything went right,
great question.
And the other, everything went straight to hell on the other one.
I mean, those ones come to mind pretty quickly. Honestly, that's just how it goes. Those are the stories that you really remember.
Yeah.
To get back, some of our festival dates, really, Lollapalooza, when we played, we were on the smallest stage, but it went really well. And we've actually got a lot of opportunities because of that show. We've had people call us like, hey, you want to work on this show or whatever. So that actually went very, very well. And the fans I think that it only fit like 10,000 in that area and like 40,000 packed in. It was like one of those moments of like, oh, this is really, really cool that so many people came. So the Lollapalooza was one that we remember.
With that, we actually played the Billboard Awards this past Sunday because of a guy who saw us 2 years ago at Lollapalooza.
No
he
kidding.
remembered our performance and invited us to
I'm
play
talking
on
about.
the
Wow,
Billboard
okay.
Awards.
And now the worst show.
Here we go.
Here
we go.
Which one?
Maybe the first show.
The first show was a good example. Yeah. So the first show we ever did in a professional setting, like after we had success with our song "I'm Ready," was it was in a venue that fit about 2,000 people, and we were like the headliners, and there were some local openers before us, and we got there. We were obviously expecting 2,000 people, and there were 6 people there. And you could see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then and it was funny because I remember like maybe our dad was giving us a pep talk, or our manager was like, "This is a great moment because you're going to go out there and play like the room is full." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that." And then I go out and I just start doing, and like everything goes wrong on the stage. It was just so brutal. We didn't have a backup band, so we were like running to tracks back then. The tracks it was like slowing down and skipping. I'm ready. Nothing going right. Then the tracks shut down, and Ryan was like, "Okay, I'm going to go fix it." And I start playing Hallelujah on the piano, and 10 seconds, and I realized I don't know how to play piano. So I just committed to this bit of like, heard there was. No, that's not the chord. And then, and then I see our manager to the right, like in the corner of my eye, as Ryan's trying to fix our manager, going, can we just shut it? Should we just shut it down? Should we just shut this whole thing down? And then it was actually, the silver lining to that story is after the show, we walked up to each individual fan and we thanked them so much, and they said, we're going to be at every show from now on. And they actually happened. They've come to every single show, and that was like 8 years ago or whatever.
Oh,
and
my
so they
God.
keep showing up. So those shows are like worth having the story and just doing just so something good.
Do they have like a hashtag or like the original 6 or anything like that? Or
Like a superhero team?
Yeah.
They go solving crimes.
And then when they come to our show, they put all their fists in the middle, and then they go like this. Yeah, and then it's time.
Big shout to the original 6. Wherever
Yeah.
you guys are. This question I'm going to bring up is a question that I'm going to ask you every time you come in. I'm obsessed with the paranormal. You know where I'm going with this. I've got a podcast called Paranormalist, which you've been on because of this story.
We have.
This is the most fascinating, just the rave. The rave in
you want us to
Milwaukee.
retell the rave story?
This is one of two things are happening in the story. If you believe them, it's got to be ghost, I guess, right? If you don't believe them, they're just liars. It's just one of the two. There's no in between with this thing.
It happened, yeah. It's an honest story. I wouldn't make up some.
I believe
it. Just to get on your podcast.
Yeah, very prestigious
We're
podcast.
We're on. Yeah, let's go. The quick story is that the rave is a venue that every artist is familiar with. Every artist has played it at some point. It's in Milwaukee, and it is said to be a haunted venue, and every artist has their own story from it. And our story was this: so we pulled up for the first time. And we believe in this sort of stuff and ghosts and everything like that. We're not like you, obviously, like actively searching ghost hunting every night.
No, many people are. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you dress up in the gear and
man.
have a long metal thing and are like.
Doesn't everybody have that in their closet? I mean, of course.
No, but anyway, so we pull up and it kicks in right away. Like me and Adam get out of the tour bus, which is basically you pull into this parking lot and it's separated from the rest of the houses on the street by a fence that you can see over. So we get out of the tour bus and right away we hear a woman shrieking, not like playing around with her kid, but like shrieking, like come save me, shrieking. And we're like, oh my god. And it sounds like it's right next to us. Looking around, what's going on? It's coming from the other side of the fence. We look over on the other side of the fence and there's no one there. Absolutely no one. And the shrieking is happening as if there is someone right there and there's no one there. So right there we were like, okay, this something weird is going on. Maybe like physics is taking place. I mean, we're searching around and like there's nothing happening. So we go inside. We kind of forget that happened. Then we go into our dressing room, and the dressing rooms in the rave are really interesting. They're separated into a bunch of different rooms, and there's this small room in the way back. We go in, and basically what was happening was there was a mattress on one, leaning against one side of the wall. Then there was a table on the other side of the wall. We walk back out probably 2 minutes later. No, there's no other entrances into the dressing room. We were still in there. Walk back into the same room. The table is balancing on one leg, and the mattress has moved across the room, balancing on the table, leaning up against the other corner. Not even a human could have created what shape was happening with the table and mattress. It was like balancing on itself, and we were like, okay, wait a second, what happened? So we go up to the people in the rave, and we say, like, what did you came in through the trap door, and you did that. And they were like, guys, every single day something like this happens in the rave. It's just what we're used to now. Like, this is what happens. We're like, oh my god, so those are our two rave stories.
I have to visit the rave. One of these days I would like to go with you guys and like just run through the dressing room and with my little pack on, and we'll figure something out.
Do a live podcast episode at the rave.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
And I mean, they have photos of like, they're like, hey, check out this photo I took the other day. And you zoom into the back, and it's like an old woman's face is in the back. And they're like, no, I did not doctor this. This is just like, they're so casual about it.
It's okay. Anybody who's been to the rave, if you have any stories to give me, bring them on. That's next time you come in, I'm going to bring that same story up. By the way, so, all right. Will Smith posted a video a couple of weeks, whenever it was back. He was mixing, I guess, in his house. And then he starts rapping over, I think it was Bang,
It was Bang, yeah.
And I saw you guys, you reposted it, obviously, and it was just the craziest thing ever. Your reaction to that when you saw it, and have you reached out to Will to do some sort of collab? That has to happen now.
I don't even know where we would begin. Will Smith at yahoo.com. I have no idea. I mean, I could go through all of them. No, I mean, that was a moment. There's so, it's a sad thing to say, but as you get bigger, like, moments start feeling like, oh, like a little bit less, oh my god, like you're a new band,
right.
Like when something cool happens. But that felt like I woke up and like it was the first day of being in AJR, of like, oh my god, I was seriously freaking out. I mean, it's not like he just like did it on his story real quick. He was like a full 3-minute thing of him rapping over Bang and mixing it himself. It's like someone told him to do it. It was unbelievable. And I commented on his post, and I was hoping it would get his attention. It did not. And I said something like, "Thanks so much, man. By the way, I had a lightsaber fight with your son at a party once." And I thought he would respond and be like, "Hey, let's talk about it." And it's a true story, by the way. I did have a lightsaber fight with Jaden Smith once at a party, and
didn't impress him at all. Didn't.
No, not at all. And I feel like Jaden did not like it. I got to say it because like I went into the room and I had like there were lightsabers there and I thought he would be into it. I did the whole like like in Star Wars when they go zoom and like the thing comes out. So I did that and I threw him the lightsaber and I thought he was going to do the same thing and I I just went in and his face was like okay, like he didn't say this but with his face he was going okay, enough like and then his girlfriend came in and kind of took him out. So that's my lightsaber fight with Jaden Smith's story.
Come to think of it, that collab's not going to happen after all.
I know. I'm realizing maybe Jaden was like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Oh my god. Real quick, well, not real quick. Talk as long as you want. The Broadway. You're writing a Broadway musical, and I was assuming that pandemic may have slowed things down or maybe sped them up. I don't know, but how is that standing?
Yeah, this has been a dream of ours for so long because we grew up going to Broadway shows, and it keeps finding its way into our music. Like our albums keep getting more and more theatrical. We got approached by this really big Broadway producer, and who did a whole bunch of like successful Broadway shows, saying, "Have you ever had this thought to write the music for a Broadway show?" And we said that it was our dream. And so now we're in the process. We can't talk too much about it, but we're in the process of clearing the IP now. And this whole process takes a really long time, yeah,
it's so much fun. Though.
It feels like one of our dreams is coming true. Yeah.
It seems like the type thing, and of course, watching, what's it? Edit this. What's Hamilton? What's the guy's name?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It seems like watching Lin-Manuel Miranda with the Hamilton. That process takes. It seems in my head takes like 10 years to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have. I mean, is that what we're looking at here? 10?
I don't know. Hamilton is. I think took probably a little longer because there are so many lyrics and he's
so
writing
dense.
it all himself. I mean, he's a genius. He's literally sitting there. How does like that? There's probably 4 times as many lyrics in Hamilton as there will be in our show.
Yeah,
but
and characters.
But no, it's still to your point. It does take a really, really long time. Yes.
I guess if anybody could do it, you guys with your music, and then you I guess it goes straight to the stage with the visual. If any artist can do it, it's going to be you guys, and I can't wait to see what comes up out of your crazy brain.
Nice. Thank you.
I love you guys. All right, AJR is here. Top 3 songs. Let's do it. This is song number 3. That was song number 2 this week on the iHeartRadio Countdown. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. AJR is hanging out. To think all this that's going on with you guys, it all started with 6 people in a room clapping as your only fans.
Yeah.
I mean, the story of the 6 people showing up, and now this is, you guys have blown up so much. What's your friends, your family, their reaction to, and they've seen the gradual growth, of course, but what is their reaction to all this craziness?
Well, speaking of the 6 people, I just kind of realized they weren't front row. Don't you remember them being like dispersed out?
Back corner. They were back. They were full corner.
They were almost trying to fool us into thinking that 2,000 people were there. They thought if they spread out,
if we spread out, maybe they'll think. If they look at the right angle, they'll think it's a full house.
Yeah. Strange thing.
That's worse. That is just
it is worse, right? I would rather they're close.
Yeah, they're trying to be nice.
Yeah. No, our friends are really excited for us. It's really been like 1 year at a time. Those 6 people told 2 more people, and it just kind of like spread, and we've been able to gain this very like cult excited fan base. So I don't know, for all of our friends, it has never felt like we blew up overnight. It's been like, oh wow, you guys played a venue that's just a little bit bigger than last year, and it's been very slow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that if I had my choice, everyone wants to blow up overnight. I get it, but if I had my choice, the slow build is how you get a real dedicated, crazy fan base.
Yeah.
Would you not agree?
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
And I really like that we haven't hit a lot of milestones yet that are still our goals, because if we had, the number 1 song at radio and the number 1 song on Spotify, number 1, the best thing we could have done is matched it. Now we still have so many more goals that we can achieve. Like, with Bang, we did have a number 1 song on iTunes, but there's so many other places where we can hit, top 10s and number 1s. And so it makes us keep fighting for it every single day. I'm
pumped to see you guys. And once again, you're my first in-person interview back after all this crazy pandemic nonsense. Well, not, we've lived through a bizarre time. A really crazy time,
Crazy.
So good to see you guys.